Welcome back to Build and Burn, where we break down the builds, burn through the hype, and tell you if the car's worth the talk or just smoke in the wind. Today, we're diving deep into the 2026 Nissan Rogue, Nissan's flagship compact SUV and one of the most important vehicles in their lineup. Now, let's get this straight right out of the gate. The 2026 Rogue isn't just a refresh. It's a strategic repositioning. Nissan is aiming higher, chasing more tech-savvy buyers and people who want luxury vibes without the luxury cost. But is that ambition matched by delivery? That's what we are here to find out. At a glance, the 2026 Rogue looks cleaner, sharper, and more grown-up than its predecessor. Nissan's design language has matured, gone are the rounded edges and cartoonish curves. What we have now is a more angular, deliberate shape. The V-Motion grille is slimmer, with a horizontal LED light signature that looks more refined than aggressive. You've got that floating roof still intact, but the trim now comes in matte black or brushed aluminium depending on your model. And speaking of models, let's break those down. Nissan's keeping the familiar four-trim strategy, S, SV, SL, and Platinum. But the spread between these trims is wider now. The S is your entry level, with more standard safety tech than ever, but no one's really buying that. Most Rogue shoppers are gunning for the SV or SL, where things really start to open up. The Platinum, that's where Nissan flexes, and honestly, it deserves a closer look. Before we go inside though, let's talk powertrain. Still no hybrid, and yes, that's a disappointment. Nissan is sticking with the 1.5-litre variable compression turbocharged 3-cylinder that debuted in 2022. That means you're getting 201 horsepower and 225 pounds-to-feet of torque. It's paired with a CVT, which, we'll be real here, is the most controversial part of this car. Now, the good news. The engine's smooth, responsive, and punchy for a compact SUV. The bad news. That CVT still drags under heavy acceleration, and it's not sporty by any means. Nissan has refined the tuning in 2026, and around town driving feels more natural. But push it on a back road or load it up with passengers and cargo, and you'll feel the rubber band effect creeping in. AWD is available on all trims, and it's a smart system great for wet conditions, light snow, or gravel trails. Don't expect off-roading thrills. This isn't a Pathfinder or X-Trail. Fuel economy is solid, though. You're looking at around 30 miles per gallon combined in AWD, slightly better in FWD. That's competitive, even if it's not groundbreaking. But here's where the Rogue starts to claw back some serious ground: the interior. The 2026 Rogue interior is, frankly, class-leading. We're not sugarcoating it. Materials are excellent: soft touch panels, quilted leather on higher trims, and even the plastics feel deliberate. Nissan put some real thought into design here. The layout is clean, minimal, and tech-forward without being confusing. The dashboard is dominated by a new 12.3-inch touchscreen on the SV, and above lower trims get a slightly smaller display. It runs Nissan's latest infotainment system, which is responsive, clean, and finally compatible with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The screen has haptic feedback in some menus, which is a love-it-or-hate-it feature, but it adds a futuristic flair. You also get a fully digital gauge cluster and a new head-up display in the Platinum trim. The UI is customizable, and you can set up multiple driver profiles that adjust everything from seating position to climate preferences and ambient lighting. It's very user-friendly, and that's something Nissan used to struggle with. Rear seat space is best in class. Nissan pushed the rear wheels slightly further back to open up more legroom. You can comfortably fit adults in the back, and the rear seats even recline slightly for long drives. Cargo space is still generous, with 36.5 cubic feet behind the second row, expandable to 74.1 with the seats folded down. A dual-level cargo floor helps organize gear, and there are more tie-down hooks and storage cubbies than before. One small gripe: the wireless phone charger is positioned awkwardly under the center stack. It's tough to access, and phones sometimes slide out during spirited driving. It's a minor issue, but worth mentioning for people who live by their devices. Let's talk features. Nissan has clearly gone tech-heavy for 2026. Every trim gets Nissan Safety Shield 360, that's automatic emergency braking, blind spot monitoring, rear cross-traffic alert, lane departure warning, and high beam assist. Adaptive cruise control is standard on SV and up, and the ProPILOT Assist system, Nissan's semi-autonomous drive tech, is now more advanced. It combines lane centering, radar cruise, and mapping data to predict curves and traffic slowdowns. It's not quite hands-free like GM's Super Cruise or Ford's Blue Cruise, but it's close. In highway driving, it works well. In stop-and-go traffic, even better. It reduces fatigue and adds to the Rogue's appeal as a commuter car. The Platinum trim goes even further with upgraded sensors, a 360-degree camera system, traffic sign recognition, and a new parking assistant that can autonomously parallel or perpendicular park. It's a slick system and surprisingly accurate. Now let's address the elephant in the room: performance. No, the Rogue isn't sporty. It's not pretending to be. But for daily driving, it's solid. The suspension is tuned for comfort, not cornering. Road noise is well muted, especially with acoustic glass on SL and Platinum trims. Steering is light but predictable. It's not a Mazda CX-5, but it's not trying to be. This is a family-first SUV that handles like a tall hatchback, and that's exactly what most people want. Towing capacity maxes out at 1,500 pounds, so like trailers, bikes, or a small teardrop camper, but don't expect to tow your boat. That's reserved for the mid-size crowd. So let's talk pricing. Nissan hasn't gone wild here. The 2026 Rogue starts just under $30,000 for the base S trim and tops out near $41,000 for the fully loaded AWD Platinum. That's in line with the Toyota RAV4, Honda CR-V, and Hyundai Tucson. But here's the kicker: you're getting more tech and a better interior than most of those for the same price, or in some cases, less. Warranty coverage is standard 3 years/36,000 miles basic, 5 years/60,000 powertrain. No surprises, but we'd love to see Nissan throw in some free maintenance, or at least offer it as a perk for the Platinum buyers. Now, let's be honest, this isn't a perfect SUV. The lack of a hybrid option is a serious miss, especially as competitors like the RAV4, CR-V, and Tucson offer both hybrid and plug-in variants. The CVT, while better tuned than before, still leaves some drivers cold. And the sportiness or lack thereof might turn off anyone looking for a more engaging ride. But if you're shopping for a tech-loaded, practical, stylish SUV with above-average comfort and excellent rear seat and cargo room, the Rogue hits the mark hard. Nissan clearly listened to what buyers want and gave them a clean, high-value package. So let's bring it home. Is the 2026 Rogue a burn, or did Nissan build something that holds up? This one's a build with a few scorched edges. Nissan nailed the interior. The tech is finally competitive, if not class-leading. And the ride quality makes this a solid choice for families, commuters, and even solo drivers who want a quiet, refined experience. But to truly burn the competition, Nissan needs to go further. Give us a hybrid. Give us a better transmission. Give us a trim that dares to chase the sporty crowd. Until then, the 2026 Rogue is one of the most complete, well-rounded compact SUVs on the market and definitely worth a test drive. That's it for today on Build and Burn. If you liked the breakdown, hit that like button. Got thoughts on the Rogue or suggestions for what we should cover next? Drop them in the comments. We're reading every single one.